Ile katiba tulileta ya chungwa ndio ilileta ugatuzi katika taifa letu.
Has Raila Odinga finally decided to break ranks with President William Ruto? Despite their recent political courtship, it seems the honeymoon phase might be over, and the opposition maestro is dusting off his rebellion boots once again.
Baba amerudi na nimesema nitakuja kuuliza watu wangu wote kwanza mwelekeo. Tujue mwelekeo sio?
For months, Ruto and his allies have worked tirelessly to keep Raila Odinga occupied, dangling a government position in front of him, perhaps as a strategic move to neutralize his ever-looming opposition.
When Raila Odinga was fighting the previous regime, some of the people who are in opposition, Mr. Speaker, who are now correcting messes, were in that government that were pursuing even abuses of human rights, and they want to lecture us about, Mr. Speaker, how a country should be run. When Raila Odinga was fighting for this constitution, rule of law, democracy, some of the people who are correcting him, Mr. Speaker, who are fighting him now, were in that system, Mr. Speaker, the KANU system, Mr. Speaker. So therefore, when Raila Odinga comes, we can use him. He has huge, he's an elder statesman, Mr. Speaker, and the full implementation of NADCO, we must make Raila Odinga the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. Even the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Prime Cabinet Minister, he must, Mr. Speaker, be given that position to assist in expanding, deepening, and widening the broad-based government.
But after his loss in the African Union Commission AUC bid, it appears Baba is no longer in the mode of compromise. Instead, he is signaling that he might just return to what he does best, rattling the powers that be.
Nitakuja kuuliza watu wangu wote kwanza mwelekeo. Tujue mwelekeo sio? Sisi si watu wa kufuata watu hovyo hovyo. Tunafuata watu na sababu. Chama cha ODM ni chama ambayo iko na sera kamili.
In his latest rally in Busia County, the former Prime Minister threw a political curveball, warning that his next steps will be dictated not by the State House, but by the people of Kenya. And if history is anything to go by, the people's directive is unlikely to be music to Ruto's ears.
Ya chungwa ndio ilileta ugatuzi katika taifa letu. Ugatuzi tumeleta lakini haifanyi kazi sawa sawa, kwa sababu pesa haijatolewa Nairobi kuja hapa chini. Pesa inakaa mingi kule Nairobi. Tunataka kuona kama pesa inatoka Nairobi ya kutosha na inatumia vizuri hapa katika serikali ya counties. Sawa sawa?
Raila made it clear that he will not be coerced into submission, especially when the majority of Kenyans are increasingly angry with the Kenya Kwanza administration. Adding fuel to the fire, Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o delivered another political shocker, hinting that come 2027, Raila Odinga will be on the ballot once again.
Na lazima tuwe na serikali ya ODM huko mbele, ama sivyo? Na hapa tuna kiongozi Raila Odinga ambaye ako tayari kuongoza Kenya, na nyinyi mnasema ya kwamba mnasupport Raila Odinga. Leo hii hapa Busia, hebu nione kwa mkono wale ambao wako tayari kupiga kura Raila Odinga kama rais wa Kenya. Hebu nione kwa mkono. Weka mkono juu. Weka mkono juu nyinyi nyote. ODM! ODM! Asanteni sana.
This revelation throws a wrench into the ODM camp's mixed messaging, where some factions have suggested Raila could back Ruto.
Rais 2027. Tuliona wengine wakicheka wakisherekea. But mimi naweka hapa clear kama mwenyekiti wa ODM Nairobi. 2027 tuko nyuma yako. Hakuna cha stories, tuko nyuma yako 100%. Wewe panga mambo hii kidogo kidogo ya hapa na pale, ya 2027 kura itafuatana kuruka. Sisi tuko nyuma yako, umetembea na baba, tumeona Jumamosi, last week tumeona, na hiyo ni heshima kwa ndugu yako mkubwa. Na unapotembea ndugu yako mkubwa na mwingine anacheka, wewe cheka, na 2027 tutachekana na wewe.
I want to make it very clear that as a party, we do not support either the internal affairs or the way the external affairs of this country are being run. And this is a repudiation.
Because he said when the party leadership comes back, he will give direction.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. Let me make another thing clear. Yeah. ODM will only enter into alliances with political parties that are like-minded, political parties that are pro-people, people who can manage a country. You are not going to force us into an alliance with incompetent people. And it has been demonstrated that the Kenya Kwanza government is the most incompetent so far from independence. So they have mismanaged our country, they have mismanaged our democracy, they have mismanaged our economy, they have now mismanaged our international affairs. So our standing in the community of nations is now under, in tatters.
My direct question is,
yes.
So what if Raila says we are supporting William Ruto in 2027? Then what?
William Ruto will lose that election with Raila's support. I will support Ruto.
Yes.
In that booth, I want you to bring your cameras on the day of the election.
Yes.
Personally, there is no way I can support Ruto.
Now, if Nyong'o's warning is anything to go by, the idea of Raila Odinga supporting Ruto may be nothing more than a pipe dream. So is the political romance between Raila and Ruto officially over?
Now, the biggest elephant in the room right now is Raila and Ruto. Their political marriage can't go forward as planned.
It can't work. More especially when Uhuru is alive. That marriage can't work. Uhuru will work his ways. And he must control, because they're also trying to protect the interests of the family, the economic interests of the family. So what will happen is that marriage haita work. Already mama divorce. Already as we are talking now, there is no marriage. Now what Ruto and the team are contemplating is to work out a plan. How can we bring back Rigiji? Do you know what is going to happen? A ruling is going to be forced that Rigiji was erroneously removed from the office. Now the court will rule in his favor. And they might be able to speak to the court the way they did to remove him. They might be able to persuade the court through the DG and other people that the government of Ruto be forced or be reprimanded to give back the Rigiji his seat. And Kendeki to vacate. And it will be a court ruling. So it will not be seen it is them who have done it, but it will say the court have reinstated Ligade. Arudi kwa kiti yake. Na arudishiwe security yake, arudishiwe kila kitu, na isemekane atafutwe mahali yako, arudishiwe kwa ofisi.
Rigade ya box?
Yeah?
Will Rigiji kubali kweli?
Alikataa pesa. Remember time I told you alikuwa anapatiwa pesa? Nilikwambia hiyo story.
Yeah, kuna time alisema hivi.
Alikuwa amepatiwa 10 billion. 2 billion. Lakini akakataa. And there's a team that is working towards that line. You know what they will do is like to convince the Kikuyu elders, that is the Mount Kenya Foundation, to convince them, bring them in, and then like they do a reconciliatory thing.
So this whole thing, okay, can we say that it's like umejaribu mpenzi amekukataa, so unajaribu kurudia ule ex?
Unarudia kwa ex kwa sababu ex alikuwa mzuri. Ex ameakisha moto. Afadhali unajua huyu mlikuwa naye huko nje. Sasa huyu ex yako hapa anabomoa nyumba hapa karibu na ni neighbor. You see the kind of situation that is it will be working. It will be interesting. It will be very interesting stories from this month of April, March, February, March, April, kwenda hapo May, June. It will be so interesting. Kenya will be so busy politically. Yeah, and so many things will go down. Assassinations will be there, and this is the period nilikwambia tutakuwa na nusu mlingoti.
Now another issue